Welcome to Eastervian Readings. I'm your consciousness coordinator, Reverend Rock, aka Raheem. And tonight, it's the return of the dragon. All you Pharisees and Sadducees, remember me. All you Esens, guys that's Freemasons, this is an invasion on ye sins. Relinquish thyself from temptation or fall victim. Blood is thicker than water is a popular misquote. The correct quote is, the blood of the coven is thicker than the water of the womb. Etymology is the study of the origin of words and their meaning. Coven, noun, a secret, close-knit group of associates, e.g., exempla gratia, which is Latin for a secret society. Just because one inherits a title of grandma, grandpa, mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, cousin, daughter, or son doesn't mean that they hold you in high esteem. Just the other day, a mother placed her child in a microwave and turned it on, all because the father did not want to be a part of their lives. Caution to those who fall victim to the covenant, the bond, contracts, oaths of these words, spells, hexes, and curses of the Cabal. Matthew 12:46-50, King James Version. While he, Jesus / Jupiter-Zeus / Yahshua / Yasu / Isa, yet talked to the people, behold, his mother / Mary / Miriam / Anne Marie / Maria / Mary Ann and his siblings / Judas / James / Mary / Salome stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy siblings stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother, and who are my siblings? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples / coven, and said, behold, my mother and my siblings, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father / Anu / Ani / An, which is in heaven / Anu, the same is my brother and sister and mother. Matthew 10:34-39, the New King James Version. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies will be of his own household. Just as Moses is an official title of the coven of the Levites / Leviathan, and is apparent in the names of Thutmose, aka Thoth, aka Tutmoses, and Ramesses, aka Ra-Moses, or Ah-Moses, aka Amos, properly called Ah-Moses. Moses simply means drawn of the water. What water, you ask? Maritime-admiralty-law. They are the priests, the lords, the pharaohs, the officers, the judges, attorneys, governors, pre-residents, aka president, from the ancient Greek Poseidon, god of the sea, lord of the water, of this maritime admiralty law, aka the law of the water, aka Leviathan system, that began when you were a spermatozoa swimming in semen, and thus ejaculated unto your mother's uterus to gestate for 280 days. Hence you were born after your mother's water broke, and delivered you as cargo by way of docking with a doctor. Leviathan, a very large aquatic water creature, ergo the coven of the Levites of the 13 tribes of Isis Ra Elohim, aka Israel. Yahshua, aka Jesus, from the combination of the words Jupiter-Zeus, says in Matthew 4:19, "Follow me, and I shall make you fishers of men." Miriam, Mary, Maria, Mary Ann, and Marie are all variations of a title bestowed upon the exclusive ancient feminine coven of an amalgamation of Mars, aka Marduk, and Anu, the Anunnaki supreme being, a Sumerian word for heaven or sky, whom are the progenitors of the Homo sapien. Genesis, aka the genealogy of Isis, 1 through 26, quote, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness." The words us and our in that verse signify plurality and alludes to a group, specifically a coven of supreme beings known in Hebrew as the Elohim, and in ancient Sumerian as the Anunnaki, and also in Kemet, aka Egypt, as an Eteru. Amidst the book of prophecy, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, heralds the coming of a Messiah, a Mahdi, a deliverer, and I quote, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder." The government shall be upon his shoulder because he will raise the dead. He will resurrect the dead from a corpse unto a natural person, and thus heal the blind which cannot see through the hexes of the cryptic code language of the government, which is Latin, aka legalese, the language of the dead. Latin, noun, the language of ancient Rome and its empire, widely used historically as a language of scholarship and administration. Cryptic, adjective, having a meaning that is mysterious or obscure. Crypt, noun, an underground burial chamber for a corpse. Hex, noun, Greek for the numeral 6, as in the sigil of the six-pointed star representing the planet Saturn, an anagram of Satan, was derived from the Hebrew word shaitan, which means adversary or simply enemy. And who and what precisely is shaitan? Who is their adversary, aka enemy of the state? Anyone whom opposes their statutes, policies, or codes, the defendant in a judicial process. Satan is the inexorable dynamic that they ultimately fear, that exposes their corrupt, esoteric, arcane, cryptic, secret system of codes, and that is why Satan is the proverbial enemy, whom was bonded in chains for 1,000 years in the abyss in the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verses 1 through 3. Quote, "And I saw an angel Elohim come down from heaven / Anu, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that they should deceive the nations more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season." End quote. Hex is also a Saxon term for spell or curse. The seal spoken of in the verse is the six-pointed star and hexagram that bonded their adversary and exposer to the realm of limbo for a millennia. We have been lied to, my brethren and sisters. Everything that we were taught by the establishment is a lie. We must unlearn that which we have learned. We were taught that Satan was our enemy and our opponent, when in fact he is specifically their enemy and their opponent of their secret order and their cryptic ordinances, whom they are terrified of being exposed. Thus, they manufactured lies about the great dragon, aka Amaru, aka Kukulkan, aka Quetzalcoatl, aka the feathered serpent, the direct descendant of the Mayan and Incan indigenous Amarucan in human form, and cursed him from reincarnating back to this physical realm, domain, planet, aka plane net. A net which ensnares people and ensnares anything. Plane net. It is the reincarnation of Hermes, Thoth, Tot, etc. Their monthly/moonthly rituals no longer hold sway over the inevitability of the great dragon. Energy cannot be destroyed. It is merely transferred from one place to another. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Matthew 23:13-16. The prefix phar and Pharisees alludes to pharmacist, from pharmacus, feminine, pharmacus, a preparer of drugs, a poisoner, a sorcerer, from pharmacon, a drug, a poison, filter, a charm, spell, enchantment. That's where the word Pharisee comes from and the word pharmacy comes from. That is why in these falsehood schools, they deliberately teach us spelling words and cursive writing to enchant us to do thy bidding. They are all secretly a coven of sorcerers. The term corp, incorporation, or incorporated, or marine corpse, derived from the word corpse, which means dead human body, as opposed to an animal. The word animal has the word anima, which is the Latin word for spirit, and the word animal. So for the singular form of the Elohim, which is plural. So you put anima, which is the spirit of the Elohim, animal. Study your words and the etymology of your words. Your name in all capital letters on government documents and on your tombstone is no coincidence. For you are a living corpse, a zombie of sorts, whom has been incorporated and certified since your birth, and your parents, aka a pair whom rents, you signed your certification of birth. Your name in all capital letters is your corporate fiction as opposed to you as a natural person. Natural person, a human being naturally born versus a legally generated judicial person. Black's Law Dictionary, the 11th volume. Capital, noun, wealth in the form of money or other assets owned by a person or organization or available or contributed for a particular purpose such as starting a company or investing. Capital letters for a certified owned asset of the Corporation of the United States. There is a distinction between the United States and the United States of America. One is a corporation incorporated July 4th, 1776, and the other is a real estate landmass at the District of Columbia, the official capital and corporate office of the United States. That is why a warrant for your arrest is called habeas corpus, which is a Latin legalese code term for bring the body. But you are more than just a body. You are a natural person, protected by the Constitution of the United States of America, and not a corpse, as jurisprudence would have you believe. For man is endowed with a quaternary nature, part body, part spirit, part soul, and part consciousness. Genesis 2 and 7, the genealogy Isis 2 and 7. Because remember, we are the descendants of the Anunnaki, of the Netero, of the Elohim. So our bloodline is of Isis. So that's why Genesis is the genealogy of Isis. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, not death, life. And man became a living soul. The Corporation of the United States utilizes proverbial dead language to enforce corporate statuses, policies, ordinances, and codes on an incorporated natural person under the jurisdiction of maritime admiralty, the law of the water. Code. Noun. A system of words, letters, figures, or other symbols substituted for other words, letters, etc., especially for the purpose of secrecy. The secret code is the secret code is exclusively for the members of the coven. Again, coven, noun, a secret, close-knit group of associates, e.g., exempla gratia, which means example in Latin, a secret society. Yah eben Mosu Habonim Vav Halel Ben Shahor means I am the stone which the builders refused, and the bright and morning star. Water flows between two banks. A bank is where they hold assets and money. This corporation, this judicial system, where the judges and the prosecutors are delegating, is through between the banks of the river, the banks of the water. That's why they call it a bank. When you approach the bench, which is another Latin term for bank, you are under the jurisdiction of maritime-admiralty-law. You place yourself under their jurisdiction. You must understand, you are a natural person, indigenous to the land. You are not a corporate fiction unless you consent. They can't do anything to you unless you consent. If you don't know these rules and laws, your laws, they will proceed to adjudicate, because in their minds, ignorance is no excuse for the law. But you have to stand on your square and let them know that you do not consent. The government and the powers that be derive their powers from the consent of the governed. That's in the Declaration of Independence. Do your homework on the Declaration of Independence. I am the Reverend Rock, aka Rahim, your consciousness coordinator. I love you. Peace. And I'm out. This is the return of the Dragon.